No, you're good. Kari.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today, all the way from San Francisco.
It's really far.
So far. It's like an hour flight. But if you drive, it's far. It's like
if I walked, it would have been really far.
really freaking
really
long.
far.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't recommend that.
Speaking of walking and I guess treks, I don't know, you've done so much in your career. You're like the adventure woman. Like you've done so much in your career. I don't even know where to start really.
I don't either. It's been a long time.
I know. I'm like, let's start from the beginning, I guess. MythBusters, right?
Yeah.
Or even before that, you were an artist. I saw, or you're like.
And before that, I was born.
And before that, you were born. You weren't even. You were just cells.
Yeah.
Let's not even go into.
I mean, my first
biology,
console was Nintendo. Actually, it was Atari.
Really?
I had an Atari.
Oh my gosh.
Like I just recently got rid of it. Somebody
Just
on eBay.
Now. You were. Oh, and did you sell it for a good
Like
amount?
$5.
$5.
Yeah, it
That's
was
good. Sometimes you just want to get rid of the thing, and I don't know. Like Atari, I did the Atari dig. Speaking of, you know, they had like this whole controversy. I don't know if you know, but yeah, they had a controversy where Atari got rid of a bunch of ET games because it was like the worst received game on the console, and so they buried them. And there was like this huge myth about like where they were, if it was even a thing.
That was actually one of the myths that was on our board for a while.
Really?
But we couldn't figure out how to film it because I don't know if they actually exist.
Well, it turns out they did. So we found them. I went on a whole
You did
my own
find them.
adventure, yeah. And well, it was actually not created by me. It was more like we tagged along to the people who did the dig and actually put money towards it, created a whole documentary around it. And then they found the thing, which was like all these ET cartridges that some of them still worked.
I am such a bad friend that I didn't know you did that.
That's okay.
I'm going to go Google you right now.
Yeah, you can go Google it. I'll allow phone use, totally. I use my phone all the time, actually. But I wanted, yeah, so I guess before MythBusters, you were an artist, you were studying, and then, yeah, I don't get how you first got started on MythBusters.
It's not very linear.
Were you auditioning? What did you do?
I actually know I was very shy, and being in front of the camera seems crazy to me if I thought back to where I was then, but I was a sculptor, and I really wanted to do like monster makeup and special effects, and you know, I saw like the making of Thriller, and I thought that was
that is a great example.
Ever.
I remember the behind-the-scenes video of that, right? Wasn't that
good.
Whole part of, yeah, and my mom, huge Michael Jackson fan to begin with, she would show us every Halloween the behind-the-scenes making of that show, and it's so fascinating. So you really wanted to go into that world. Were you like pursuing Hollywood, like show business?
I mean, not Hollywood necessarily, because
Right.
I was in San Francisco and we were really close to where Star Wars was being made, and there was all sorts of great just model making and animatronics, and you know, even in high school, I remember going to Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors, so I could see how they made monster makeup happen. I mean, I just always thought this would be the coolest job, but you know, after college and traveling and everything, I came back and I was trying to figure out how to get into that field. And it was a long road of sending out resumes to like, you know, ILM and Pixar and all these places. Yeah, nobody calling me back. I tried and tried, but then one day I found Jamie Heinemann's shop. He from MythBusters, the guy with the brain. And he had a shop that was known for giving everybody their first jobs. He's just, you know, mostly because he can pay you nothing and then charge a lot for your work.
That's a roundabout way of doing it.
Yeah, it's a good interny first job. So
that's a great intro job.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, because I was going to work for free. And he was really into that. So
yeah, and then MythBusters.
Pretty much my first day as an intern, you know, I was doing toy prototyping and working in one room. We were still doing all this sort of model making and stuff in one room while MythBusters was being filmed in the next room, because the first day of MythBusters was also my first day as an intern. So I was cleaning up stuff and pushing the background a bunch.
And then it became, you guys were like this trio of like the B team of like MythBusters, and so did that start a couple episodes in, it seems like?
Well, pretty quickly they realized that they couldn't make episodes fast enough, so they wanted to hire us as background builders. So it was me and Tori and Scotty, which is an incredible welder woman, and then a contest winner who had sent in a video, and it was the four of us were going to be background builders, and that lasted for like 3 weeks before they're like, still not fast enough!
We need to make more content!
Talk in front of the camera! And we were all like, wait, what?
This is a thing? Oh my gosh. And so you were nervous at first?
Oh yeah, I was terrible at it.
Oh my gosh. I also was super green when I started. They threw me to the fire. They're like, you're doing E3, which is like the biggest gaming convention ever.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting, but nerve-wracking. And I was super green, you know? So I also had that weird thing where you're like, I'm gonna try to emulate this and like sound smart and try to be the best, you know, like try to emulate what other people have done or what newscaster I've seen do before. And that I just, yeah, it was.
Did you use newscaster voice?
Not really. I tried to like, yeah, I guess I tried to like have some sort of cadence or structure to how I worded sentences and things. Not to sound, like I tried my hardest not to sound like I was reading. That was the main thing because it was teleprompter focused. Whereas you had to go off the cuff, which must have been really nerve-wracking.
Well, when we started, we were talking kind of to the side of the camera, and then there was a producer that was asking us questions, and we were actually building the things.
While you were being talked at.
It wasn't that hard to answer questions about what you're actually doing.
Right. How did you get over that hump of like being nervous and getting over the
just
greenness?
Working
or the
13, 14-hour
Okay.
days, 6 days a week that you're so tired, you just like stop caring.
Oh yeah, that's a good way.
It's a good way.
And so then after that, you're like, I can do this a million times over.
I still get nervous.
You still get nervous?
Yeah. I still, when I start bumbling my words, whatever, I think I just care so much about the end product.
I get that.
That sometimes it just kind of falls apart on you.
I know.
You want it to be so good.
I'm the same way in that I'll get like super, I'm like, I just want to throw a bunch of information at you because this is like what I think will work or what I want you guys to know about, but it ends up just being jumbled up. And that is sometimes the worst
You're
experience.
doing an excellent job. My cousin Corey already texted me to tell me that he's a real big fan.
No way,
that's awesome.
Corey? Holy cow. Well, shout out to Corey. Thank you so much for tuning into this. Oh man, so he's your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in California.
I did.
I saw. But you weren't always San Francisco, right?
I was always like Northern California.
Okay. So I guess San Francisco is a natural thing to do after.
That is the cool city to run
cool
away
city.
from. Yeah, or run away to when you're a
Leave
kid.
San Francisco. Well, especially now with the housing crisis. I don't know.
When I was 16, we'd go up there and buy thrift store clothes and do all the cool San Francisco stuff.
So you got to see it before it like kind of blew up.
Yeah.
What's it been like being there for that entire thing? Because you saw like the dot-com boom.
Yeah, well, it's weird transition, but here's the thing about San Francisco is every generation hates the next generation and thinks that they get it all wrong.
Yeah.
And it's always just dreamers with big dreams trying to do something
awesome.
New and different. It was the beatniks and then the hippies and then the punk rockers. And now we have tech, which is really the same. It's a bunch of dreamers. It's just a different kind of gold rush.
Yeah, different gold rush. There's a lot more money, I guess, in tech than
can't hate on
being
that.
a hippie. Yeah, that's true. You can't hate on it. I mean, it's created a lot of awesome companies, and of course, gave me a job. Like that was my first time in California was San Francisco, actually. So I went to IGN, and it was like, yeah, this whole world I'd never been a part of, but hella expensive.
Yes,
that is
very,
a thing.
very expensive.
So you must have got in, and you're like, I pay like nothing for rent, and I just own a gorgeous home, and everyone wants my home. But moving on from San Francisco, let's talk about some of your adventures that you've gone on. Is there anything? Oof. Yeah. Is there? I mean, you have such a repertoire of like. And I bet your resume is just super long. So is there anything that, like, in terms of adventures, that was just your most favorite experience that you've had?
See, this is tough because my bucket list is pretty full. It's pretty full.
I was going to say, too, having done everything that you've done.
A lot of things I didn't want to do. A lot of things I wanted to do. Getting pushed off buildings and covered in scorpions go to the bottom of the list, but
Scorpions, no.
Yeah.
Also being pushed off buildings.
But now I actually work in travel adventures.
Yeah.
So it used to be that we were working in science and it was kind of dirty places in Central California that we go to. But now I get to go to fancy hotels and
live the extravagant life of traveling. That's amazing. And it's so Crash Test World is the name of the show that you're on.
You're way better plugging than I am. Yes, Crash Test World.
I'm plugging it now because we're on this topic. But yeah, season 1, and they can watch it all on the website, correct?
Well, so far you can see Crash Test World on projectexplorer.org. And the cool thing about it is that if you're a teacher or you're homeschooling or a parent, it's broken down into acts, and with every act there's free curriculum.
Oh, wow.
Lesson plans for teachers. So if you want to learn about beekeeping in Detroit or skateboarding in Israel, there's also going to be a lesson plan with it so you can bring up some good conversation.
That is a really unique approach to like making a show.
Well, that's the streaming version, and we're also going to be on a network I'm not allowed to say, but I'm very familiar with, and I've only
Oh,
been
I
on
bet
about
any-
3 or 4
You can make your
networks.
assumptions. Yeah, that's right.
So you can discover me somewhere that I
What are
won't
those
mention.
networks again?
But they haven't announced it yet, so I'm not going to
Okay.
say anything. And then later
Okay.
it'll be on another
We'll see if we can discover it.
big network. And then,
That's not my joke. You just
That was
made
a good joke.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
just
good
wanted to
joke.
but I
Repeat
think
it.
it's playing completely actually right now on Emirates Airlines. So if you're flying
That's cool.
Emirates,
Emirates, shout out to Emirates, really great airline.
It's-
I know it has that rap already, so I'm not saying anything new.
forward
but I've
thinking they're
flown
playing
it
my
once.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
totally.
I mean, right now it's like the content creators market. Like, there's so many people that want content. Like,
Yeah, and now gas stations have TV shows, and
There's
it's
this-
everywhere.
syndicated networks of just like, we just need a couple hours of content. We're going to distribute it, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's really
We
cool.
just need to create a network and have it live in the randomest places, like
Yeah.
like gas station or on Emirates.
No, like,
Yeah,
the
that's
Emirates,
cool.
the airplane stuff makes a ton of sense to me. I know a lot of esports are going on to Emirates as well, but
So there you go.
it's just crazy. Like the gas stations. I don't know if you've been to. Oh my God, it's Lucky Strike Bowling Alley. They have all the TV channels up on their
Which
TV.
play different pieces.
They play
of
the Chive
shows.
TV,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's just cool. It's a content creators market right now.
Yeah. How did you get involved in Crash Test World? Were
Well,
you
I'd written a book, Crash Test Girl, which
you,
was
you can get on Playbook right now, right? Paperback. That's what I meant.
Playbook.
Playbook. Amazon.
I thought it was something new and cool. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
thought that was a cool thing too.
Paperback, you can get it. And so that's available right now. And you came out with that when? Was it 2000?
I wrote it a couple years ago, so I stopped paying attention after that.
Right.
Like, I'm
Okay.
terrible at this stuff.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, with explosions in the background.
such a
'cause that's
cool
what,
cover.
It's my thing.
Bad
My thing.
A. I can't
Well,
swear. I'm trying not to swear.
Good job.
Thanks.
Is that a swear word?
Well, I said bad. And then
A,
A
but
word.
is the A word
I
a swear word?
guess I would count it as a swear word. Shit
Ass.
means like nah.
Ass.
We're good.
Okay.
I just want to see if anyone's
Anyways.
busted in here.
So my friend who was creating Project Explorer, she had created it for 16 years.
Holy
It was
cow.
an amazing platform that was showing kids around the world what other cultures are like, and she wanted to make a TV show.
Wow.
And she picked me to be her host, and we talked on the phone and just clicked, and we're like, yes, let's make a TV
Yeah.
show. It's produced by Andrew Zimmern from, do you know Bizarre Foods and all of his amazing travel shows?
I don't know, but that sounds. I'm sure I've seen one of his shows.
You have.
Yeah.
He's the guy that eats the bugs. Is how he's.
Oh.
Wait, I saw
The
that you ate
sweetest
bugs.
man. I eat lots of bugs.
I eat
So I was
lots of
going to
bugs.
ask about that. I have such a not a phobia, but I definitely don't like.
Not a phobia. Anything gross and involves eating, she
When it comes
loses
to
it.
eating, that's what I was going to get at.
What do you consider gross? Because like flesh of an animal.
No.
That's pretty.
That's fine. I'm used to that. But I feel like okay, so the bug thing, it's like when there's multiple bugs in one little like swarm or anything like that.
Generally on
And
a plate,
anything
they don't
having to
call
do
it a
with
swarm.
Food and bugs is
Yeah.
like I don't know. I was traumatized by a Goosebumps show when I was younger, where it was I don't even remember the name of the episode, but it was like spaghetti, and then they turned it into worms. And I love spaghetti, and that just like.
And you hate
Lost
worms.
Boys and the maggots did it for me.
Oh, really?
we
Yeah.
watched,
Yeah. Anything with maggots, ugh. Sometimes I see reviews on restaurants and they show photos, and I'm like, oh.
We
when I know
we
not to go
watched
there.
what was it? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they had the
Oh, that was the
who
worst.
ate my toe, and then the toe, and the guy ate the
The
toe.
gross toe.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh, that was terrible. So, anyways,
Yeah.
I have a thing about that, but you seem brave enough that you're able to.
Well, it used to gross me out. It used
Yeah.
to be something that it was like a dare on MythBusters. But as of recently, for the show Crash Test World, we were doing things on sustainable foods and how to feed a growing planet because our
Okay.
population is outgrowing our food sources, right?
That was the interesting angle you guys took. I saw. Yeah,
Well,
amazing.
80, I think it's 80% of the world eats bugs already. We're just behind the times. And so you get a good roasted cricket and you put that on some guacamole. It's just like a little rice puffs, a little chili
Right.
roasted cricket.
You would love that, the
crunchiness?
crunchiness, and then the
It's
antennas
really
going
good.
down your
Oh,
throat.
yeah.
You'd
They
be
have to
so
be
into that.
prepared. Eat them live that's creepy. But if you get them roasted, they're like just crunchy little nuggets. High source of protein. There's all
For
sorts
sure,
of
the protein.
You're
vitamins.
really into this, huh?
Well, I'm interested. I'm giving it. I'm open to it.
The,
I'm giving it a chance. I'm not gonna go eat a bug right now.
The movie Snowpiercer talks about that.
yes.
Yeah, they
That didn't gross
farm
me out as much.
they farm bugs and turn
some
it into
reason.
like a meal paste or
Well, when you
whatever.
think about the amount of water it takes to grow crickets versus the amount of water that it takes to grow a cow,
Yeah.
Animal, yeah, huge, yeah, mammal. I know. That's the thing. So
I
what
think
else?
it's going to be like sushi of the future. Like, 20 years ago, everybody's like, ew, raw fish, sushi, gross.
Yeah.
That's
Then they
weird.
got used to that.
And so
Yeah.
if the bug
Start
world could look at
slowly
sushi and see how they market it, and someday you're going to just be sitting there with a cockroach on a stick.
Or
Naomi
dipped
will
in
be
chocolate.
all over
Yummy.
that.
All
I will
over
not.
that.
I
Love
will
it.
not. I will
Love it
starve.
so much.
I will. I'll die.
Do you have a favorite bug?
Yeah, the dead one.
Oh yeah. Do you have a favorite bug?
Crickets.
or-
Crickets are
crickets.
good.
Okay.
Mealworms are like level 4. They're
Right.
still a little
Gooey
wormy.
or
I mean, when
wormy.
they roast them, you could get a good crunchy toffee out of them, but I'm going with the crickets.
The
This is
crickets.
horrifying.
Okay. Yeah. Should we change subject? Oh,
No, we
you're
don't
also
have
getting
to.
grossed out.
I'm very picky when it comes to food, but it's because I got the palate of like a 7-year-old.
Well,
So.
I'm an
He doesn't eat
uglitarian.
fish.
I only eat
Ugly foods.
ugly critters.
Ugly
Like,
Tarian.
So if the animal's cute, you won't eat it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay, that's
So
Perfect.
like fish don't have any feelings, and that's what Kurt Cobain said.
Oh, okay.
They're ugly, so I will eat the heck out of a fish.
Perfect.
So
I love
like
fish.
probably no no cow, no.
No puppies.
They're
no
too
puppies.
cute.
Wow, puppies.
too cute.
All right.
No baby
We have a
Yodas.
show going on here actually in the background.
That's
Let's
you in the
see.
background.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a nice
What
shot.
was this part of the show?
We were showing how this was a sustainable show as well, and we were showing how thrift store shopping is better than buying and just throwing away clothes, because people throw away 80
So
pounds
much.
of clothes a year.
I know. I'm guilty of that. It's terrible.
That comes out to just billions of pounds of waste in the landfills.
It's so bad. But I try to donate it, but I know that even those donate, like, I'm not going to name any names, but like there's definitely places you can donate your clothes at, and they end up just throwing it away or burning it or selling it off to.
Burning it.
Yeah, I've heard burning it. So I know it's terrible.
I love thrift shopping
The
though.
Right?
clothes nowadays
Fun.
is so cheap and so cheaply made that it's basically become like fast food clothes.
Yeah.
Tell me more about like what you learned or like the biggest thing that struck you from shooting that episode.
Well, this was one of my favorite episodes
Oh,
here.
recycling.
This is I got to go to a recycling plant in New York.
Oh, I've always been curious about how those things work.
So freaking cool. So much science and engineering goes into just separating bottles by color, and there's just lasers and
All sorts of weird technology.
everywhere.
Look at that. That's a whole that looks
That-
like fun.
that right there. I'm sitting there looking at one day's recycling, and only I think
oh my gosh.
there's a very small percentage of people that actually recycle in New York. So
Really?
and that's only one day, and I was just in shock.
I mean, that's just in New York too. And
Yeah.
if there's only one oh my gosh, imagine if everybody in New York started recycling. They'd have to expand that quite a bit. I recycle a ton. I'm very pro. I'm even a little mad that our complex doesn't do composting. Do you compost?
I do.
Yeah. And I find recycling, it's just, it's in my brain. If I throw away anything plastic, I feel guilty for the rest
She
of
gets
the
mad at
day.
me.
I get really, I'm like, this is supposed to go in recycling.
No, she'll pull it out
Especially
like through
paper.
bugs and like dirty stuff. She's like, this is a bottle. Put it away. Yeah.
This goes in the blue bin.
We're trying really hard as a production to get past single use, because we always have water bottles with our cameramen and
Right.
everywhere we
Yes.
go, because we're on a travel show and we go to a lot of places where you
Yeah.
can't drink the water. So we're looking into bottles that have all sorts of UV lights and filters, so that we can just have a bottle with us that you can drink.
Also
the
makes
water.
it look cool and like sci-fi and fun
Yeah.
to use.
They're those straws that we have in our little bug out bag that you can
We
drink
do.
any water source.
Yeah.
That filter, yeah.
It's so hard though, because if it goes wrong, it goes,
goes
really,
really
wrong.
really
badly
bad. You can get
wrong,
really
yeah.
sick and die. Ugh.
I've had food poisoning on a shoot before,
Oh.
From
and
what?
it was the worst. Well,
Do you
actually,
remember?
it was fish tacos in Vegas.
That makes sense. Oh my god.
Perfect.
That is
I
yeah.
ate bugs in Taiwan, but it was
yeah.
Vegas fish
I've
tacos.
heard a lot of fish taco like horror stories, so that makes sense,
Well,
especially in Vegas.
It's the worst when I was driving out to Area 51. I'm the
Ooh.
only host. It's just me, and I have to just like ask a question of my subject, excuse myself,
puke.
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever,
Or whatever,
yeah.
number
and then
two.
come back and just be like, so you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, so that must have been a horrible experience. Oh man.
But it didn't, it didn't seem to show in the episode, I think.
Right. Enough powder and makeup, you'll be fine.
With all those little green men, I looked like them.
I've had food
Yeah.
poisoning twice, but it was orange chicken both times. So
Orange chicken.
I cannot eat orange chicken anymore.
Oh man.
It's really bad. But at least not Vegas fish tacos.
No.
Yeah, I can eat fish tacos, but I can't do it in Vegas.
Oh,
A lot of
Don't do it in
things can't do in
Vegas.
Vegas.
Right. How many times have you been to Vegas? Or have you shot any shows there?
Yeah,
sure you
the
have.
Area
I mean,
51.
I've
Area 51.
Yeah, Area
Vegas.
51 was a great one. I also did one off a building there where I did a show called Thrill Factor. It was the physics of thrill rides. So this one was with Tori Belleci from MythBusters, and the two of us jumped off a building, and there's you basically just free fall off the building to a slowed stop, and it is 100 stories tall, and it was
Absolutely not.
terrifying.
Never.
Was that the most terrifying thing you've done? Well, I mean, that seems like extreme. That's almost like falling out of plane. I mean.
That one was hard because you had to like do it yourself. You had to jump off the edge. But once it happened, it was really exciting.
No, I couldn't do that.
Couldn't do that.
I could
Terrified
not.
of heights.
Yeah, heights and like true dark are my nightmares. So it's no jumping off a building. No. That's not happening. I'd probably like hold on to the edge, like, oh my God, I can't do it, and then Nope.
So back to the question.
Actually, being in a bathing suit on television, that's the most terrifying thing. Oh, good, that wasn't back there. Oh, it is back there now.
It's a little bit back there.
Yeah, that was the worst. I hated that water slide because that was a power enema. That was a horrible, horrible experience.
Brutal.
And it was on camera, and I got to the bottom, and they're trying to interview me, and I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's coming back.
that is not a good thing.
Not a good feeling.
That's
Ooh,
funny.
Brutal. Okay, so let's talk about better experiences or favorite experiences. What is something that you went on and you were like, I just am so happy I had this life experience?
We did shark diving in the Bahamas a bunch with MythBusters, and it was really cool because we did things just I wouldn't have put on my bucket list. Diving at night with sharks.
Sharks, yeah.
But I got to see that, and it's always going to be penetrated into my memories.
Isn't it cool? Were they really large sharks?
Oh, they were terrifying.
Terrifying.
And they are attracted to flashlights, which was the myth. So
so it turned out
turns out
it's true.
It's terrible to have a flashlight underwater with sharks.
Okay.
If you need that advice.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I know you can shark dive in San Francisco.
I do.
No, but it's true. I have contacts at a shark diving facility in San Francisco.
Those are great whites. Don't get under the water with
they're
those.
great
That's a
whites.
terrible idea.
I don't know. I played with the idea one time.
There's
So
no
I'm not, like,
visibility.
I'm not like afraid of risk, but there's some ideas I've explored. Like as you said, bucket list item, right?
You should be afraid of sharks.
I know.
That's the thing to be afraid
But there
of.
are ways to, they're experts. I would be going to the experts.
Nothing goes
start
there.
with
There's always
baby steps.
risk. I know that. Yeah.
Baby steps. Go to the Bahamas where it's warm and the visibility's good and the sharks are small, meaning
Okay.
like the size of you.
Right.
In California, they're huge, they're great whites, there's no visibility, and when you go underwater, you get an ice cream headache because the water's so cold.
Oh, right. You get like the brain
Oh.
freeze thing.
Yeah.
All right. Good advice. I'm glad I asked or like brought that up as like a potential thing.
Naomi's not a baby stepper, so yeah.
I kind of go to the extreme of things,
Yeah.
but that's like, I don't know. I played with that idea just because somebody proposed it to me. They were like, hey, we have this facility. You want to stop by? We do this thing with people all the time. I'm like, I guess people do it and survive. So maybe one day I'll do it.
I'll do it with you. Call me. I'll do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is the best. I would love to. Okay, because you have experience too, so I'd feel pretty safe.
I
And
mean-
I'm sure these people.
Carrie's like, no, well, if the shark's coming, I'm not swimming you.
I'm going to push you in front of me so fast.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll be like, no, it's her, not
No.
me.
She's young and delicious. I'm leathery and old. Bye.
Bye. Also, you have a kid.
I do.
So, I mean.
So
you-
you're
tell me
saying you
about your-
push her in front of
No.
No, I would
because
push,
she swims
no,
slow?
But definitely sacrifice me because you have a kid. No, I'm not saying that. But anyways, you do have a child.
I do. I have
She's
a 10-year-old.
10 years old.
Budding
So what's that
horror
like,
author.
having a kid?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Stella's 10 now, so she's like a little friend. We can do stuff together. We
Right.
travel
She has opinions
together.
about things. She's like a mini you.
Except for she's way more sugar.
Right, a lot of
Yes.
sugar.
Yes.
And crazy ideas too. We were talking about earlier. She's a very creative.
She's very creative. She
Child.
is a tiny Stephen King, and you should look out for her in the future.
Yeah, this is interesting. So she writes horror stories.
She does, and they are
my gosh.
freaky.
Yeah.
But we had to clarify at one point because I was reading her horror stories, and I'm like, this is really good, but like the mom dies in every single one of the stories, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, baby, do we need to talk about this? Are we having?
Yeah. Or there's
You trying to tell me something? She's like, oh,
deeper issues going on.
Mom, God, it's like Disney. The mom always has to die, otherwise you do everything for me. I'm like, okay, I got
Yeah.
that.
You're like, I understand now. And so it doesn't feel like there's any underlying stuff. So that's good. And she writes a lot of great stories that you think are actually good, right?
Yeah, she's really good.
That's good. Yeah, I always wonder what kind of offspring I will bring to this world. Kyle and I have talked many a times about what that might end up being like.
You can't control it.
Yeah, right. You never know. Because I mean, what's your approach to parenting if you've even thought about that? Like,
Try
did you read
really
a bunch
hard.
of books or anything like that? Because I'm a little scared. I'm like, what's the right way to raise a child? I don't know.
You just do your best and cry in the bathroom when you mess it up.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't mess it up. I'm really good at this.
You are really good. I mean, it's great to raise a. I mean, she's made it to 10.
She's made it to 10. And I haven't
You
broke her yet.
survived!
Survived this long.
I've only dropped her a couple times.
There
That's
you go.
perfect.
Did she play games? You said that she did.
She does.
Okay.
I mean, like all kids, she loves video games. She had a big Fortnite time. She's continually been in the Minecraft world. She does the Nintendo Switch, which I believe is on her Christmas list.
Okay.
So
she
I wrote down that deal. I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
Good deal for
check it out.
Definitely get a Switch. It's super fun, super great kiddie games too, like Mario. We were Mario Karting, so obviously.
Overcooked.
Overcooked. I love Zelda games. They're really kid friendly and fun. So yeah. But anyways, what kind of games do you think she gravitates towards the most?
Creative games, things that she can either build worlds in right now. I think she really likes Minecraft because she can actually build it for herself. So
What kind of things does she build? Do you even like keep track?
roller coasters, castles, booby traps, and minefields, and I don't know, all sorts of weird stuff.
You also
Weird
said she's
stuff.
into Roblox.
Roblox,
right?
yeah.
Roblox is
Yeah.
huge
That's a
for
massive-
young children.
Huge.
Massive.
Yeah. Speaking of games, what's it like being a parent and seeing little children, or like just this generation of children growing up who are so tuned into the internet? Like, are you taking any precautions? Are you giving her just like, here's a phone, here's access to the internet, you can go search whatever you
Don't
want?
do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Never just do that. That's scary.
So what was your approach to that? Because
Well,
I mean, that's like a whole new thing for our generation. Like,
it is terrifying to
internet.
have a
Yeah.
daughter with, just this portal into the world. So I monitor it heavily. I've got a lot of spying going on because,
Right.
but she's smart. She's going to get around that at some point.
That's what they all say. I mean, at least with Kyle's nephew, it's the same thing. It's like you can't really block everything.
No.
At some point, a kid's going to show them something, or at school, or what have you. It's
No,
like,
I
it's
told my
hard to
parents-
stay away from it.
I'm like, so my nephew, who my parents adopted, so he's like he's my little brother now, but I'm like, you could never get around me, so you're never gonna get around him. Like, he's gonna get through everything you put up. It doesn't matter. So it's a lot of context. Like, well, that's try to explain stuff.
Not everybody who represents themselves as a child coming
not.
into your game is actually a child.
Yeah,
they might
exactly.
be some lurky dude trying to find out if you're home alone.
Yes.
You just try to
Yes.
make her as aware as possible.
Like-
just tell her about all of the pitfalls that I know about.
Yeah.
Educate, communicate.
Talk to me if you see anything weird.
Right.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
So weird.
Don't
A lot of
Google
weird.
mommy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was kind of leading to my next question, because I was wondering about how do you explain to her what you do and your job, because it's so unique.
It's definitely something. She's always she grew up on set with me. She'd be under my
yeah.
desk playing with my computer while I was out filming in the next room. So she understands me as a host, but it's the Photoshop that's a little confusing to explain.
Oh yeah, Photoshop. Yeah.
There's a lot of that going
Excuse me.
around, pretty much since the day of the internet. But
Well, now you got deep fakes too. That stuff is scary. I don't know.
now,
if you-
now it's a whole other extreme. You didn't think they could go any farther with what they always find a
Creepy
way.
people can go. The
They'll take
sky's the limit with the creepy people. They'll
I
do
can make
whatever.
you say whatever I want
Yeah.
with your face now.
Yeah.
I know.
And the thing is that you've given these huge tech companies the scans of your face, because if you ever use Snapchat app, if you've ever used the Instagram app,
Oh, look,
Facebook?
instantly
oh
old.
look how old I am. Just kidding. Facebook has a scan of my face and they own it now. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like, I could go super deep down the rabbit hole with this and tinfoil hat theory, because
But it's true.
it's terrifying and it's true and it's really, 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 really scary.
Yeah, I did want to ask you about like social media and just this whole kind of age that we're in now with, PC culture, or people who are just very vocal on the internet about things. Do you have any sort of opinion about that, or
Well, luckily
worldview?
I came up with it slow. I started with message boards when it was really archaic on MythBusters, and we tried really hard to engage with the audience, so we would answer as many questions as we could, but that
Right.
was the beginning of the anonymous critic. They would
Yeah. How
tell
did you
you-
deal with that? Like at first, was it really hard to?
Oh, it was hard. It took a while to get a thick skin, because at first I was just like, why don't you like me?
Yeah.
Why are you so mean? But after a while of just realizing, okay, it's a lot easier to say something about somebody that
When
you
you-
don't know, that they're an actual person. And I I would engage with them in the old days.
Oh, really?
And they were always like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
sorry.
I forgot that you're not just in my TV."
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I guess that engagement in the beginning when people were still kind of figuring it out gave me this idea that, like, okay, maybe don't take it so hard if somebody says something mean or gross, or just ignore it and get to the nice stuff.
True. I also tried for myself learning the psychology of behind somebody who does that on a regular basis. I think my best approach has been, I'm sorry, you're probably having a hard day. I'm sorry that you're struggling in whatever way. Because what kind of person probably does that? Somebody who's very having a hard time in life, or is looking for attention, or is in need of something. And you're just that outlet that they're kind of using the internet to vent or
it's
get
tough.
This out
You're
of
in a
their
world
system.
as a woman.
Yeah, which I also
in the
wanna touch
gaming
on.
industry.
Yes.
So you are coming out swinging.
Trying.
How are you doing with it?
I'm doing pretty okay. Like you said, I've definitely built a thick skin. I feel like understanding the psychology of how men or just any person on the internet who's being mean reacts that way. There's a reason behind it. But like you said, I try not to. That's not part of my job. I'm not paying attention to that right now. I'm just trying to do the best work that I can. Focus on the work. That's one of my biggest mottos, and I'm doing okay. I'm having more fun, I think, than when I first started. Because when you first start out, you're really sensitive to that. You haven't been exposed to that kind of meanness until maybe in elementary school, a little bit of bullying and stuff like that. But it's not to the level that it can be. On the internet, they'll always take it to the farthest level. So
and the older you get, the less you give.
Yeah, exactly. You lose a bit of that.
Not.
No, it's true. You start not caring, and that's when the fun really starts happening. I find you know what you can do, you know what you can handle, and because once you've mastered a skill like hosting, it's a whole other beast. But then you can really start having fun when you stop caring, I guess, to the level that you said. Yeah.
Care in a different way. Just care about the product.
Care about the product, the job. And doing a good job at it. Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks. And I want to talk to you about, other women supporting women, which I want to touch on for you because you've been doing a lot in the space of girls' education. So tell me about what your newest endeavor is in that world.
Well, with Crash Test World, we are looking a lot for any story of empowerment. We're looking at gender equality. We're looking at socioeconomic equality. And we're looking for solutions to big questions in the world. We traveled to Israel to see how people in a place of great conflict live in peace. Mm-hmm. How do people find a way to make this world a better place? So I'm following the inspiring stories and the innovators and trying to highlight them with my new show. And I have to say, this has been the best job. MythBusters was amazing.
Yeah.
This getting stuck in a negative news feed that happens a lot, especially with social media and everything that you see, can make you feel like you want to give up and the world's a bad place. But this show, I'm walking around talking to all of these people just working really hard to make it better.
Yeah.
And I've been so positive. I feel the hope.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, there's so much hope in these young children and people really trying to solve these solutions, these problems. So what was something or story that you came across that was very, I don't know, kind of shattered your worldview or in a good way?
Oh, every single thing we did. We actually went to see some beekeepers in Detroit that are taking the old backyards with the neighborhoods that have fallen and turning them these amazing beehives so that they can explain, food sustainability and teach kids about honey and how the bees are actually helping the world. And I didn't know the complexity of beekeeping till that point.
Bees are super important. I don't know if we learned that in that movie with Mark Wahlberg. What was it called?
The Happening?
The Happening, right? Wasn't bees being highlighted as
it was the tree pheromone. It was the trees that were were
But we
killing
also learn
humanity
at the start when he's teaching the class that bees are so important.
Well, bees are incredibly important.
And without them, we'd have kind of a break in the system.
From the clothes that you're wearing to the food that you're eating, anything that's grown has come because of bee pollinating.
Yeah, and if they didn't exist or if there's an issue with them, it always kind of comes up and you're like, oh, if we lose the bees, this could all go
down.
The shiitake mushrooms. But that's super interesting. Anyways, I just wanted to highlight the fact that you've done so much. You've definitely covered a lot of big topics. Was there anything in there that you were like, I'm so glad I got to, I don't know, there you are in New York. Okay, I don't know if that's New York. See,
that's
you're like,
well,
across the world.
All over the world. I went to Qatar.
What was Qatar like?
It was a big old desert
Oh,
with
yeah.
a giant city right in the middle of it. It was.
And so what were they doing there that was like super
Well,
interesting?
I learned about the rite of passage of falconry, and I learned about how people learned from the desert to kind of create their culture, and
Yeah.
also just learned how they make water, because the whole they
'Cause
have
it's in the middle of the desert.
it's
so
a
I would
huge
imagine-
population in a
Yeah.
small place, and they have to desalinate water for the water to.
Is that really a hard process?
Yeah, it's complicated.
That's why there's so much importance right now in the fact that our water reserves that aren't, salted or from the ocean are being depleted, like especially in a lot of like LA. Mexico's a huge issue right now. So they've actually learned to do it with that kind of water.
Yeah, but
in
there's
a
a
way
lot of
that's
byproduct
sort
that can
of-
be dangerous.
Right.
We haven't quite gotten the research completely there yet.
Okay. So what do you think is the missing element, or like the big?
We just need them big brain people to get up on it.
Yeah. Very
'Cause once
energy intensive, right?
we can use ocean water, we're good, right? We're pretty good in terms of like having natural water to fulfill our everyday use,
I just, from what I understand, it's very energy intensive to remove the salt out of
It
the
is.
ocean water.
Yeah.
It's like a negative cycle. Basically, you're spending more energy to do it than you're going to get out of the water. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not very smart. I just
I Googled it too.
yeah, you caught me.
Are there any issues in the world right now that you're really concerned about?
Whoa.
Oh my
Whoa.
Big
That is
question.
a
It's
big question.
but
Holy.
I think about it. I think for me, it's the air right now, the air pollution. That's the biggest one.
That's a big
How
one
do
for
we
you.
clean the air? Yeah.
You could eat bugs instead of cows, because that
Cows
way.
create a lot of methane.
There you go.
Cut
Eat your
red
bugs,
meat,
right?
and we'll solve the solution.
Eat your
we'll
crickets.
find a solution rather.
For me,
Yeah, or eat crickets. I don't know if I can do that.
for me, it's just like the fact that like people don't value like facts and education anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I don't want to believe that, so it's not true. It's like that's not how
See,
facts
that's
work.
the show I always wanted to do with Tori. We have pitched it so many times. Is
Yeah.
science versus science fiction? We actually put this video on YouTube because we did sort of a, just like a. This is what it
Yeah.
would look like.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
show called Prankenstein, where we take science.
Frankenstein.
It was a
love that.
prank
I love that
show
title.
where we prank people, and you have to figure out what's the science and what's the science fiction, because so many people believe in things like cryogenics.
Yeah.
Right.
They think you
Oh
really
my
can get
gosh.
frozen, and so many people believe that there's
That's
just
true. You can't do that.
Walt Disney's head's frozen somewhere. We're gonna bring him back to life.
Not gonna happen.
I want to do a show where it's like you take like flat earthers and then you take them up into like low orbit and show them that the planet's actually curved and see what they do. Like
See how they
watch them
react.
try to either come to terms with being wrong or trying to maintain their reality, like stuff like that.
Do
Like
you
peop-
have a line on that? Because I think the world is flat. You better take me to low orbit.
Are you? No, you just want to go to low
I just
orbit.
wanna go
Yeah,
to low orbit.
there you
Yeah,
go.
did you
That's
really
all
look at me for a second?
Yeah, I
and think,
did. I had to. I don't.
It's a real thing.
I don't.
It's a real thing.
I
People
don't
think
know.
the Earth is flat.
People are weird.
Yeah, but I do
So-
want to go to space. Is that the last frontier? I want to talk to you about your bucket list.
So badly want to go
Right.
to space. I mean,
I'm shocked you haven't done that actually. 'cause
I-
feel
we
like
are
that would have been
pitching that as a
perfect-
show.
Yeah. Okay. So
I-
who are you pitching it with? Maybe not.
I'm not.
Inside information.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
definitely want to go to space. That would
Okay.
be. I know a lot of amazingly weird people in the space sort of zone, because
Okay.
it is Northern California. So
True.
so there is
Yeah.
definitely a lot of interest there.
For me, if later in life, if it comes around like I can buy a spaceship and go explore space, I'm doing it. That's it. That's
Right.
like if I'm like 85 and they're like, yeah, spaceship's $1 million, and if I have it, I'm like, fuck everything. Oh.
Oh,
Swear
yeah.
jar. I
So
thought
you're
that
down
got
a
a
dollar.
credit.
Oh yeah. Well, I have
Oh,
one
he's
more.
already said a bunch of swears.
No,
I
no,
just
he's
caught
talking
this
about getting a spaceship.
Oh, okay.
But I have one more dollar left in credit on the swears, so fuck.
So bring
there
the,
you go, zero.
Yeah, so just prepare for more credit spending.
Yeah, but I would totally like go to space and explore space. Yeah,
Did it in
absolutely.
VR once, and it looked really cool.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
did the Portal VR on Vive, and that was cool because you get to walk on a ship and then you look down and you're like, there's nothing but space there.
Yeah.
Holy
So
cow.
neat.
How terrifying is that? But awesome.
You know, VR they're using in such cool ways up at Berkeley right now. Have you seen that they're using VR as therapy for people? They put in video games, and so instead of having your arm constantly move in an exercise, you have to like catch butterflies or something.
Ah, and it's peaceful.
That's really cool.
Isn't that
I
That's
love.
really
I mean, it
cool.
makes sense. I think for education, VR has a huge potential. I don't even know if they're exploring it to its full potential right now. It doesn't seem like it.
I know they're doing AR for a lot of medical stuff, like because AR, meaning augmented reality for anyone listening.
So to train doctors.
I feel like your audience knows what AR is.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be explanatory,
Inclusive.
but so that like you can actually like take a heart and open it up and look inside and like without having to actually have a heart and do that. It's pretty interesting. Another thing for VR and AR that I'm interested in is the implications for the elderly, actually. So a lot of them are alone and like don't get a lot of socialization, but if you can have them put on a VR headset and go explore somewhere they might not be able to because they're not physically fit enough to go there or
like
socialize with people.
Socialize with
Or
your
they
family
can get
or
into the
friends.
wizarding world and
Yeah.
kill gremlins.
There you
right?
are,
Oh,
yeah.
there's one on me right now!
We got the space background now.
We're in
Perfect.
space right now, guys.
Yeah.
There you go. You fulfilled
We
your
did
bucket list
it.
item.
We did
To
it.
go to space. I did see that they are creating a hotel in space.
Space
Is
hotel.
that real?
Yeah.
The space hotel that goes into circular motion, so it simulates gravity, so you're not just floating around, and you can just
It's supposed to be
live
like
in space.
$600,000 for a weekend.
Are you sure this
crazy.
isn't just like an episode of The Expanse?
No.
No, it does sound like it though.
That's
No.
real?
It's real.
It does sound real.
Space hotel.
I think from what I saw online, it looked real. But again, the internet can be full of lies. So
Yeah.
There are pictures that
always
have been up
check-
on the internet for so long that I really believe they're real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, oh no, I guess it's just true. But it's true. You have to like fact check everything. You can't just base it off it. But
What do
I
you
do
fact
think
check
that
with?
one was real. You just do more research. Like look if a reputable outlet has posted a blog about it or an article about it, like New York Times or something like that, to see if you can really trust what's being said. That's kind of my go-to. That's my approach to that. Kyle, do you know any other better
Yeah,
ways to
if for
fact
me,
check?
if
Ask Twitter.
well, no. Well,
Never ask
usually,
Twitter.
the best way to find the right answer is to say the wrong answer on the internet. But
Yes.
Or not
usually,
use a comma.
or
Because
not
someone
use a
will be like,
comma.
no, that's not
That's
true.
not actually true.
Yeah, you're lying.
Yeah, yeah. But it's.
There it is.
What are we looking at?
That's the hotel
If-
design. I mean, it's not. We don't know if that's going to be the final design, but that's, I guess, the concept.
But
There it is.
basically, like if the headline really like confirms a bias for me, I'm like, I'm gonna look deeper into it. And also, I check where the site. If it's like truthherald.biz, I'm like, you're not.
Not true.
This isn't a
you're
real
not,
website.
You're not an actual website.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool, right? I would go to that.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
go
100%.
to that.
Yeah. If there's at any point I can buy a spaceship and go to space, I am doing it. See ya, babe. Unless you want to come with.
Well, no.
I will go.
Yeah.
Girls' weekend, let's go.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go do some shopping.
Oh, yeah,
Really, just be all sorts of
100%.
stores and stuff like that. It's gonna be cool. I'm totally down.
I'd be so burnt. If I
I'll
go to a
drop the
space
60K.
hotel and they're trying to nickel and dime me while I'm up there, I'd be so mad.
Do you have an ATM?
It's
Yeah.
just like cruises. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
cruises are the
God.
worst at that. Have you ever taken cruises? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like cruises personally?
I loved going on a cruise with my daughter this summer because then
Was it a fun? What company was it?
it was with Princess.
Princess. Okay. That must have been amazing.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, anything with my daughter is super fun. So.
Aw.
But it was extra cool.
You like your daughter.
I do. I'm such a nerdy mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
But she's fun. She's weird.
She is her own little nerd in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. Sounds like
Nerds are the best. They're
nerds
interesting.
are the best.
I didn't
You've
call
been
you a
around
nerd,
nerds your
honey.
whole
She
life.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, will she be mad at it?
Did she not like?
She's cool. She's
Yeah, I
she's
was about to
She's
say.
like way cooler than I am. She plays guitar. She speaks
Wow.
French.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I speak French. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Do you wanna
I'm as
babysit?
cool as her. Yeah, I'll babysit.
Sweet.
Only on a French like speaking level though.
Oh.
I'll teach, but I won't teach her the like proper French. I'm from Quebec, so it's a bit like hick French. It's not super. It's not super nice. It's like it's not Parisian French.
Did you just alienate a whole section of the
Probably did.
hometown?
Probably did. Sorry, girl.
Never heard hick French before. That's an amazing terminology.
I think that's what it's called joual, is what it's called. Joual. Anyway,
That's funny.
funny fact
That's
about
that was a very
me.
Naomi moment.
That
Yeah.
was totally a Naomi.
Naomant.
A Naomant.
Hashtag Naomi.
I've never said
Yeah,
that
you
before.
guys can use the hashtag in there. I'm trying to see what questions you guys have. Naomi,
Oh.
can you try bugs in the future episode? Carrie, maybe you can help. Like,
How about if
Man
I bring you some really fine
Yes.
dining bugs? Like I'll start you off on some like chocolate covered
yeah, you can
crickets.
like ease me into it because I really need a lot of hand holding.
You can actually get some on Amazon. Kyle, if you want to get her some Don Bagito
Yeah.
Don
chocolate
Bagito.
covered
Oof.
crickets.
Don
Can't
bug,
believe I'm
like
actually
bugito, like
thinking
little
about
bug.
doing
Okay.
It's a good start. It's a good start. I like the chili lime, but I would go with chocolate covered for her.
Chocolate covered.
Okay, I think I could do chocolate covered.
Happy Merry
I like
Christmas.
chocolate a lot.
Happy anniversary.
Are
Thanks.
you allergic to shellfish?
I'm not allergic to anything except penicillin, which is a medicine. So no food related allergies. that I
You
know
have to
of.
ask people if they're allergic to shellfish because there's a possibility you could not eat a cricket.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because
yeah, I was gonna, I guess that was my
shellfish
next
are the
question.
bugs of the sea.
So you can't surprise people with like, oh, I made some chocolate chirp cookies and see what happens.
Right. You need to make sure they are good. Chirp cookies.
I didn't even catch that. Wow.
I have a recipe, Toll House, call me. I'll show you.
Is this
Sponsored.
your home recipe or something you found online or something you discovered during your adventures?
Well, it's my home cookie recipe. I just use a different kind of flour.
Ah,
Cookie flour.
I've heard about bug flour.
Yeah.
Does it taste like real flour?
I mean, it just tastes kind of healthier. It's got a little bit of a health taste to it. Just,
Like earthy?
not bad. There's no chocolate in it.
Healthier.
It's just like, you know how you have white flour and then you have that flour that
The
like your
brown.
hippie sister makes cookies and you're like, okay, it's good, but it's like not white flour,
It's
but
not
it's still
there.
good.
Yeah, it
And
still passes.
It's more nutritious when you eat it, so
Okay.
you feel like powerful.
Every person who's pitching healthy food says it tastes healthier. It's like, oh, so bad.
So it doesn't taste good. It tastes like cardboard,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, Naomi's like,
But I will try this. I will try the chocolate covered.
Naomi's into the healthy food.
She said, did you get that?
I
She
heard
said
that.
Yeah,
she did.
Don
we need
Bugito.
to order some for next
Amazon.
week.
I'm-
If it's
I'll get it.
Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
we can get it by next episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this is happening.
And then I'll tweet at you and I'll be like, I
I did it.
I did it.
What's the next thing? I
Oh,
guess,
really?
I
Are
guess
we
I'm
playing-
going down this path. I feel like I should because it's the future.
A continuing game
Yes.
of dare between
Game of
us.
dare
I feel like next is on you. You have to.
Yeah, you have to
I
dare
have
her
to dare
to do something.
you. I don't know what I would.
Yeah, but you've done like all this cool stuff.
I know. Well, I have done
All right,
good
Kari.
stuff
Weird
too.
stuff.
I ate crickets. Now your turn. Go fight a bear.
No, I mean that's a little.
Is that too much? I can't
No,
tell.
fighting a bear is
I live in San
Very
Francisco.
high risk.
I can find a bear so fast.
Different type of bear.
Oh, not the type you hug.
No,
Not the type you
not
hug.
that sort of bear.
no. I guess my next question, moving on from bugs. We've touched so much on bugs this episode, it's insane.
Is it bugging you?
It's bugging me to, I guess, mildly. I don't know. I think I'm okay with the bug thing.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just more self-assuring.
Are you
myself.
checking with yourself?
Checking in with me.
A little
My
mindfulness.
chi.
We could like move on to
Mindfulness.
cannibalism or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's,
Would you eat a
Is
human?
that the future after bugs? Oh, I don't even want to think about
Well,
it.
yeah, because you can actually clone your cells. So would you eat a me burger? Because you can take
Well,
the.
we're talking about all this weird stuff. It's so amazing.
Would I eat
It's
a
just
me burger?
So
me.
glad I have you on
I
the
have
show.
lots. I
Love-
tried a chicken nugget that was made from cells of a chicken. Like the chicken's still alive, and they grew. It took about 2 weeks and 50 scientists, so it's the most expensive chicken nugget. But
And you ate it.
I ate it. Yeah.
What
And
did
how was
it
it?
taste like chicken?
I mean, it tastes like chicken.
was
It is chicken.
It was, but you know what? I felt more assured that there'd be no beaks and buttholes in it because it was just like actual,
apart.
just
Just the meat part.
the meat cells were
Wow.
created.
And it didn't taste at all different. And like, cause
was a
they
nugget.
say if, yeah, it was just a nugget. Well, they say if like an animal is raised on grain versus other stuff, they taste different. They have a different, and like depending where they were raised.
I need
in
my
the
meat to
world.
have the sadness flavor in it. So
You-
it's
the flavor of
important.
sadness.
You didn't have it be.
Yeah, I mean,
sad.
yeah, it's sad. It's the despair brings out the flavor.
So
Oh,
like
right.
angry carrots and
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
celery that have.
Isn't that quantum mechanics though? Like that
Whoa.
you can yell at water and it'll have a different texture
Whoa,
or
oh
like.
my God.
Yeah, and then if you
Woo,
love
what a
it,
pivot.
if you give it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a whole other thing.
Ah, fuck you, water!
that actually?
Kyle,
did
you are
feel-
I got a
officially-
dollar. I got a
sorry,
dollar.
You're
No.
bound zero.
No, I'm
in
past.
the
Yeah,
swear
I got a
jar.
dollar. I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to just get a credit card going.
I really, I really wanted to just yell.
$25,000 of credit.
I just really wanted to yell "F you, water."
Did I ruin all your serious questions?
No,
No.
they're not
Weird
really.
side topics.
I'm
because
just wondering if there's anything else because we've touched on all the weird stuff, which I was hoping to touch on. So I feel
You wanted
like,
to touch my weird stuff?
Yeah.
Is that in there?
No, that's
Yeah.
super weird. And in there, yep.
We met at
100%.
Comic-Con. We're that kind of friend.
On a boat.
Weird stuff happened, guys.
We went on Comic-Con on a boat.
Yeah, that's true. That is a fact.
That was fun.
It was 2 years ago.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
I remember meeting you.
Why
I
weren't
turned
you
around and you
on,
guys started talking to me. I was like, oh, I know who you are. It was interesting.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Cool. From Simone Gertz, right? She's the one who introed us or something.
I don't remember.
Probably.
I think you were on the boat together, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She came.
She
She's
was
cool.
there.
She cool. I love her.
She's really cool. And
You guys were together on the BattleBots show.
we were. Speaking of Discovery Channel and Science
Woo!
Channel, yeah, we were on the channel together for the BattleBots. It was great.
For the BattleBots.
The battle
It was
box.
great.
That was a fun experience to see in person. I don't know
That
if
was
you've ever,
really
I
cool.
assume you've seen something like
Have
that
you
in
seen
person.
BattleBots before?
I haven't gone to that BattleBots, but I've seen BattleBots before.
Same.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It was crazy. Like I mean, I don't know what I expected, but it was literally robots fighting and just absolutely messing each other up.
There's nothing like seeing it in person.
Yeah.
Because it is like cars just going out and fighting each other. And you wouldn't think it'd be intense, but it is. And it's hard to capture on camera. Like, it doesn't really have the same effect.
It's not the same as in person.
No.
I bet with all your stuff, it's like that. In some way.
Some stuff, but there's certain things that are better on camera. I think explosions in real life are not as exciting as they are when you play them back on camera. Because in real life, it's like, boom, and you feel it, and you're like, ooh, but you can't even tell what happened. But when you slow-mo it back, then you get to see all the beauty of the fire and the storm and the
happening. And oh, slow-mo guys do some great stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I don't know. Seeing the BattleBots in person, like some of them had like spinning stuff that hit other things, and the impact was just incredible.
Yeah.
Like I felt it, and then bits would fly off and hit the window, and it was incredible.
That's why Jamie Hyneman was banned from doing robot fighting, because his robot killed all of the robots
too good.
every single time.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
it was too good. I remember hearing about that.
So they banned him?
Yeah.
They said, here's a trophy, go away.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Which is
we'll
why
give you the ultimate trophy, and then he'll
during
be
the zombie apocalypse, I am going to find him.
Yeah.
Because
You're
I feel
running
like
to his
he will
house.
be the last man on Earth.
Or the guy who caused it.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, and
There'll
that
be a
guy's
robot
interesting. I know a lot about that
apocalypse
guy.
at that point.
That was really interesting. Yeah, zombie apocalypse. Best laid plans, but done. It doesn't matter. It depends where you are.
I've been sharpening my machete skills.
Yeah.
So far, all I can do is like take the top off a champagne bottle.
That's cool.
That's about it.
So maybe the top off a zombie.
I feel like it'd be the same sort of
motion. Yeah.
Like, just follow
like
through.
That. Are you someone who like packs for that sort of thing, like the zombie apocalypse, and has a bug out bag and
have
okay.
a couple.
Because you've seen some scary things, so you're like, this is real.
I just like having those bags around. I don't know.
We do. We do too. We have two. Yeah.
We have two. One in our car and one in our apartment.
And part of the reason we own a motorcycle is if you're in Southern California and some disaster happens,
you can go
you
off-road.
are not going to be able to drive anywhere. So
go off-road and head for the hills.
Yeah.
Solar packs. I've got a solar Bluetooth speaker. Because
you really need that.
The jams.
Yeah. You're like, I need some home comfort of some kind.
So funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll through the apocalypse with a theme song, you know?
Yeah.
Playing Danger Zone.
Everyone knows when Carrie's coming around. That's
I love
awesome.
it. That's good.
Let's see some chat here. I would rather eat the imitation meat. Yep. I think that would be fine. I would be fine eating, not a me burger, but definitely a DNA burger from some other thing. Carrie is the aunt who uses carob instead of chocolate.
Oh, that is not true. I would definitely use chocolate. I am the aunt that used crickets instead of flour, which is a way cooler aunt.
Yes. That flies. The carob, not so much. What were you going to say?
The Beyond Meats, well, not Beyond Meat, that's the like tofu stuff, but like
Impossible
lab-grown
burger?
meats.
Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yes.
I think it starts to...
Have you seen it? You've seen that, I guess. That means that's the
That's
DNA
essentially
part,
the chicken
right?
nugget,
That's what you described? Okay, that's the lab-grown stuff?
Well, it's getting cheaper, right? Initially, it was like tens of thousands of
It's
dollars.
still expensive. They haven't gotten there yet, but I
Really?
love that the research is happening. I mean, that's one of the things that's really cool about living in San Francisco is seeing all the cutting-edge technology. We right now are a test city for the driverless cars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
They're everywhere.
We knew some people who worked for a company that was doing that.
It wasn't Tesla. It was another.
It's a different company.
They were making the tech for it, like the actual programming.
And I guess the hardest part is the night driving, right? Because or when it rains and the reflection. And
There's a
all that
lot of
stuff.
hard parts.
Reflection because it uses cameras.
Yeah.
Anyways, hard to go into the tech part. Do you know more about it? I don't really know.
I mean, a little bit here and there, just
Yeah.
because it's fun and interesting to me, and I love going down the rabbit hole and all that stuff, including the meats and the whatever's happening.
All the weird science stuff that's happening.
Weird science.
What would you say is like the technology that you're like most excited about in the future? Like what would that be?
The most exciting
Yeah,
technology?
like let's say space travel or meats or burgers or something.
Well, I mean, of recent, I got to go to MIT and see where they were making a prosthetic leg that actually did work, and it would push off. So you could actually, people who missing a limb could walk upstairs and up hills in a way that they couldn't before, because instead of just having a stationary leg, it would think and move.
Oh, wow.
And so just thinking about the exoskeletons you could build that would create mobility for people who didn't have it.
Yeah, that's exciting to me.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I think before we started rolling, I was like, the moment I can get robot legs, I'm getting robot legs. Like, it's gonna happen. Like,
You would
absolutely.
chop off your actual legs to get robot legs. That's what I find crazy because, I don't know, it seems like you have to go through a whole other mind thing after
But if it's
something like that.
But okay, so in my mind, if it were possible and the better, like you a smooth process and you get the better thing, and like I would do it. I'm not like, oh, if it's brutal and I hate myself after and blah blah blah. No, like if I can get robot legs that'll make me faster and all that stuff, yes.
Like cyborg.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Same with like cerebral implants, all that junk.
Cerebral implant.
I'm all into it. I'm
All
into
right.
it. Sorry.
No, it's good. I mean, it's
It's like getting superpowers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It totally is like
yeah.
that.
If I can
Yeah.
process and all that junk.
Yeah.
What's your superpower if you could get one?
I would love to teleport, but that's not really viable. You can't do that.
No,
Teleportation is.
We're talking superpowers. That's
Yeah,
okay.
it would be if it was like some sort of magic and you could make it happen where it's not like you're being a copy of yourself. I would just love to be able to teleport because anything that cuts back commute and like I could do
So this
anything.
is really just about the commute
And it
in
would
LA.
save time. Yeah, well, not just LA, anywhere. Like it would save so much time. I could travel the world. I can do the bucket list stuff that I want to do.
Totally. What's
Yeah.
on your bucket list?
I definitely want to try skydiving. So that's on my list. Have you tried it, Shaheen?
I have.
And
Amazing.
verdict is amazing.
beautiful.
Do it
Yeah,
again,
that's
for
you've done
sure.
it.
Don't do
And
that.
compared to jumping off a building, it's much better to jump out of a plane, huh?
You have a lot longer to process, and so it's kind of like a real pretty view for a long time.
Oh, okay. See, that's why I want to try it, Kyle. No? He's
No.
afraid of heights.
Heights.
Skydiving
Can't fight heights.
a bunch of other things. What?
Can't fight heights.
Can't fight heights. No.
Can't fight
'cause-
heights.
Yeah.
That's why I also say fuck the ocean. Fuck. Fuck.
Oh, you said it 3 times.
Sorry.
You sound
That's
like
$3, buddy.
the swearing troll.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so
jeez.
glad I brought it today because what a day to bring it on. I
Baby
mean,
Yoda merch is in
I
the
still have my
works
$1
right
in
now.
there.
I'm putting 5.
all right.
Just getting ready.
All right.
I'm funded that thing.
Perfect. I guess my last question is, I don't know, what are you working on that you want people to know about?
Well,
Let's do some
Crash Test
plug-in.
World, of course. I want
Yes.
people to get geared up because that is happening 2020.
2020.
It will be on the network in full episodes, but currently, if you want to watch parts of it, you can watch it on projectexplorer.org.
It's amazing. You guys should definitely check it out.
And I got that book thing, but it's been out a while.
But that's okay. I mean, it goes perfectly with the show. So I say, if you want to have this full experience, you should check out the book and the show.
And my daughter's orthodontia was expensive, so you should buy my book.
Yay! That would be a really good cause. I say let's do that. Let's all buy her book and then, yeah. Because
Braces.
braces is so expensive. I get that. I get that struggle because my parents also had that issue with me. I had terrible teeth growing up. So, anyways, anything else that you wanted to plug or go on in your life? What's the thing that brings you the most joy right now to do?
Being here with you in this new show that you're creating, because I think women need to support women, and I'm super excited to be here with you.
Oh my God. You said that from the beginning when I called you to do this. You were so gung-ho about this. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Like, beyond, like, dream come true. I
And now I have
wasn't joking when I said
I have
I've
a
looked up to you
list
since I was a kid.
Of all of the things you said earlier, I took all the notes, so now
Yay!
Christmas lists for
Christmas
everybody.
lists for Christmas.
Gaming lists.
Gaming stuff. I love that. Oh, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. What a great show tonight. Day after Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. It's a long weekend for most people.
Yeah, we're
Here
going to
we
have a
are
dance party
working.
after this, right?
Yes, we're totally going dance partying. And then we're going to order on Amazon those crickets. Oh, the chocolate covered crickets.
Don Bugitos chocolate covered crickets.
Bugitos. Yes, I'm actually going to do it, guys. All right, thank you for tonight's show. Last Week in Gaming, of course. We could not do it without you. We'll see you next Friday. We have an even awesomer, just as awesome guest. Greg Miller is going to be on the show. I'm going to announce it here because I figured that's something we should do going forward. So stay tuned for that next week, and have yourselves an awesome weekend, guys. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.